Hi, my friends. This video is going to explain to you what the Akashic Records are, what sessions are like, and just more about the energy of the Akashic field. I get questions about this all the time because I'm always doing Akashic readings with people. It is something that has been so beneficial in my own life and has helped me really grow at a much faster pace. And so I love sharing this energy with people. I love doing sessions with people. But I get a lot of questions about it because people are like, what is it? Like, I've never heard of this. Is it a psychic reading? Is it a past life reading? Like, what is it? And the truth is, every single session is completely different. So let's first go into what the Akashic Records actually are, and then what the sessions can look like for each person. So the Akashic Records are a field in a much higher dimension that hold memories of all of time. So people will see this differently. I see the Akashic Records as a big library, and each book in this library represents one soul. So if I have a session with you, it's like I'm going to the Akashic library and I'm saying, okay, I want to check out the book for this person. The librarian gives me the book, and then there's also a guardian that comes with your book. So first of all, just your book itself, each chapter will be a different lifetime. So it's holding the information, the memories, the wisdom, the challenges, the lessons, the knowledge from each of your lifetimes. So I could be like, okay, chapter 12, in this lifetime, it was the 15th century, and you are a man, you were 43, you worked as a banker, and you had these sort of traumas, these sort of challenges. When you died, you still felt guilty about this, and you carried that guilt into this lifetime, and you're still, right? So I could see everything about that particular lifetime. And they say that Thoth, who was an Egyptian god, but also an Atlantean, he's often seen with a scroll and a pen, like a feather pen, a fancy one, right? Because at death, it said that he writes down what happened in your lifetime to go into your Akashic record for that specific lifetime. But also time is an illusion. So it's said that in the Akashic Records, we have the information for basically all of time, and we can tune into it. So we'll talk about time another day because that's another video. This is just about the Akashic Records. So I have your book, and it comes with a guardian, like I said. So this guardian is going to sort of filter out the information that's helpful and the information that's not worthwhile or safe for you to know right now, that won't be conducive to your growth and to your healing or what you've chosen for your soul path in this life. So truly, that just helps us filter through what's actually important for you to know. And it also protects your book from being read by just anybody. So the Akashic Records are a very sacred place. It's a space to come to with reverence. It's not like you're going to a psychic that's at a yard sale or at like a community fair that anybody can walk up. Like, you have to, I'll say it this way, you have to be a pure channel to come into the Akashic Records as someone who's reading the records. But even as someone who's receiving information, I ask that anyone I have sessions with comes sober for at least 24 hours before. I cannot go into the records if I've had any substances in my system for 24 hours. And anyone who's working in the records has to have such deep reverence and respect. It's like if you were meeting a goddess, or if you were meeting like your biggest role model, you'd be excited about it. You'd be like prepared. You wouldn't roll up like drunk and to meet your idol, right? You would show up with respect and reverence. So that's definitely present in the Akashic Records. And you have to be a pure channel the purer your channel, the more information you'll receive. I'll say it that way. So, because everyone truly has access to the records, it's just a matter of how easy it is for you to receive information, how much you trust it, how much doubt comes into your field around it, how much you're able to separate your ego, and just your ability to channel information. But everyone has access. This isn't like set aside for the special chosen ones. You have access to the Akashic Records. It's just a matter of how attuned are you to it. It just takes practice. So I think that's it for what the Akashic Records are. It's in a higher dimension. I feel it's in the 8th dimension. Some people think it's in the 5th dimension. Doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that you're receiving higher wisdom. So this wisdom that you're receiving is not coming from a human mind. It's coming from a space of unconditional love. A lot of times the information we might receive from our current dimension, our current plane, wherever you're residing in your vibration, there's probably going to be a hint of fear to it. There's probably going to be some lack and some scarcity, because that's like what the third dimension is made of. So even if you're in the fourth dimension or fifth dimension, there's going to be more of that than is in the Akashic records. So you're receiving information that's from like pure infinite source, and that's where your answers are coming from. So it's a very different energy than if you like go ask a mentor something. The example that I like to use around this is something that I heard Esther Hicks say, because it describes this energy very well. So I was watching, well, first of all, Esther Hicks, if you're not familiar with her, is a channel. She channels this energy called Abraham. So she's like very well known in the spiritual world, and she has a lot of different seminars. I was listening to the recording of one of these seminars, and in the recording, the audience was like, good morning, Abraham. She was already channeling him. And then Abraham responds, it is. That's not like the typical response of a human, right? That's not the typical response that you would hear somebody on the street say, like, good morning, it is. You know, so the way that you receive answers in the records may be a little bit different. Well, it will be different. It's going to be coming from pure love. So it's very beneficial, as you can imagine. So what can happen in a session? This will be different every time you go into the records. You're going to receive different things. I have some clients who have multiple sessions per year. They buy packages, and they might have one every 3 months or one every 2 months. And each time they come to the records, they receive something totally different. But typically what you can expect, here's kind of a list of things you can expect. First of all, I bring you into the records with me. I do that so that you can experience the vibration. A lot of people don't do that in sessions with you. They channel from the records to you, but you're just like in the same dimension. I want to bring you with me so that you can automatically experience healing just from being in that vibration alone. So you're physically not going anywhere, but energetically you are going somewhere. Energetically, you're traveling to a higher dimension, which only feels more peaceful, less suffering, less density, more calm, more tranquil, more serene. That's the energy. As you raise in vibration, there's just less suffering and less density. So once you're in the records with me, there's a lot of things that can happen. So for me, every practitioner will be different. For me, I see your guides will show me images, show me like stories, show me like movies in my third eye, and I translate that in a way that you will understand, in a way that will have meaning for you. So many different energies can come through. Most often it will be spirit guides, God and goddess consciousness, ancestors, power animals, past lifetimes, things of that nature that will come through with messages for you. And it's just so cool because each time it's like, I'm not in control of it. Your guides truly are completely taking me on a journey, and I'm just telling you what's going on. And if you are someone who's intuitive and you can see things really clearly, a lot of times you'll be able to see some of the same things that I'm seeing. I hear that a lot. Like, oh, I saw this and then you said that and it was like the same thing. And anyways, so those are sort of the guides who might come through. There might be others too that I'm just forgetting right now. But what can happen in a reading, again, totally varies on what's happening in your life, what's needed for you at this particular moment, and what's going to be supportive for you. Sometimes there will just be general guidance for you from a spirit guide or from a goddess consciousness of like, okay, they want you to be working with this person. They want you to start, the themes are around your root chakra and around healing around this. These are some things that they suggest for you to be doing. So it might be broad themes coming in, but my work as a practitioner is to really get specific and narrow down on what's going to be most important for you. What are the specific messages that are important for you to hear about specific things in your life, right? There can also be past lives that come forward for healing, or things that are still affecting you in this lifetime, like vows you've taken or contracts that you've taken, or guilt or pain that you're still holding on to from another lifetime, and we can clear that. There might be specific energies, like I said, around even animals that are coming through with specific messages. It's like I call it your cosmic support team, because it's just like so many different ways that this information can come through. They will deliver what's important for you to know in a variety of ways. Sometimes this will also come through as an energy healing. They'll give you a really deep energetic attunement. These are almost always completely custom for you. There is not one session that I've done that has been the same as another person's. They're each totally custom. So for me, when you book a session, I will start tuning into your energy a few hours before our session time. And your guides will give me a couple different themes. Okay, pull these crystals, wear this sort of thing to help amplify this energy. But that's sort of it. I'm kind of going in blind. And they just deliver everything to me when we're in a session together. I'm essentially the translator of that for you. So each session is totally unique. And I go into the records every day and I experience something different every single day. You can't get too much of the records. It's just like going into a vibration of love and peace and contentment and safety and security. And yeah, it's really just a beautiful energy. And so I'm like, what else can I say about the Akashic records? So when we have a session together, you will come up with 5 to 10 questions that you have before our session. I never hear your questions. So what I do first is, once we get into the Akashic records, I will channel what your guides have for you first. Usually that will answer 80% of your questions, and sometimes all of them. But if you have any other questions, there will also be time for that to go into your specific questions that weren't answered or that came up. This is usually what it is, that came up from what was talked about in your session. So then you can ask more questions about that to get more specific. I really try to bring in specific solutions for you. Yeah, what else? Essentially, this is just a space to receive guidance and wisdom that's based in pure love, and also understands where you're going. It knows your soul path. It knows so much more than we know as humans. It's the collective consciousness, but like the healed collective consciousness, the love-based consciousness. So let me take that back. Not collective, it's love-based consciousness. And that's where we are receiving wisdom from. So it's much higher than our human brain, our human ego. And again, it's not me telling you certain things. I'm just translating what comes through to you. So after the session, a lot of times people will feel really tired. They might, because they've been in a higher dimension. So sometimes our body doesn't know what to do with higher dimensions because it's just like a lot to hold. So very often we'll go to sleep because it's easier for the body to process those emotions when we're unconscious and not like, what does this mean? And I feel this way. And all of that happens all the time. That happens to me as well. So, but typically people will just say, I feel so peaceful. I feel so calm. I feel so rejuvenated. And then they have guidance to move forward with what they were asking for help with, right? I also give you a recording of the session, which is just like crucial because you will receive so much as you continue to go back and rewatch that recording. I do that with my own sessions as well, because you'll forget about a lot of that happened because you're just like in this energy of total love. You'll forget about some of the specifics, and also just a lot of information is given. So yeah, I think that's it. So if you have any other questions about the Akashic records, please put them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them for you. If you would like to book a session and experience it yourself, you can go to my website, aliwilkins.com/Akashic records, and book your session there. I have a whole bunch of information. I've got reviews there, and then you can pick a time on my calendar that works for you. And there's also, if you're watching this, if you're a first-time customer, I have a 20% coupon, so you can just use at checkout in all caps YouTube, so I know that you came from this video. You can use that as a coupon to get 20% off of your first session. So that's awesome. But yeah, if you have any questions, please just comment below. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this, like the video, so more people can find it, because this is such a powerful way for us to access higher wisdom that can really like help us not go in circles, not go in the same circles we're going in, to get, it's kind of like getting shortcuts in many ways to help us so that we don't continue in the same patterns, and we can get more insight into why we're operating the way that we are, what's important for us to know, how can I move forward in my growth in a steady, supportive way. So I hope that this video helped you understand the Akashic Records a little bit more. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. And I'd love to have a session with you. Like I said, you can always ask me any questions. But anyways, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.